So, I had a bit of a snag today when it came to making the one that I wanted to make out of Red Brandis. Finished the other one I was talking to you last night about. Got it all the way up to 10,000, looks nice and bonny. I'm going to wait until to do the linseed oil towards the end of the week, Friday time-ish. Simply because I want to make a batch of items, most likely going to be wands to do, but I'm going to try and get most of the sword that I've started done today. Well, not today, but this week, at some point this week. Yeah, anyway, but the slight snag is that I finished the wand that I worked on last night and this morning, and then I was thinking of getting to do the other wand that I start. I'm going to make out of Red Grandis, which I'm cutting up now for you, which you see me doing in the moment. But then I saw the rose one that I'd made, again, roughly around this time last year. I started sanding it, but then I stopped. Partly because of how difficult it is with the rings and the fact that it's got the rose, like petals inside, like a blooming rose. I was like, sick and tired of sanding this, so I stopped sanding it. So I thought, oh hey, let's start sanding it again today, so that way I can say I've got 3 old ones done, and I can just put them aside and get the Red Grandis one done later on today. Later on today being now, because I wasted time. Well, I say wasted time, it's not wasted because it... Let's make it 15.5 inches for the sake of... Yeah, but it wasn't wasted time in the sense of not coming up with a solution for my issue. It felt like I'd wasted time because I thought, why didn't I think of it sooner, sort of thing. But I've made a little, let's see if you can get a better image. This is a little sanding stick that I will be putting sanding paper on the end of this. I can't really show you properly now because I'm having the glue off the string set, and that's going to take a good 2, 3, 4 hours to do properly. But what I'm going to do is going to fold sanding paper over the end of here, tie it beneath, tie it around so it's beneath the string, so the string will wrap round, and I can tie it securely to it, and then when it comes to it, I can get in there, sand it up. I won't be able to get it 100% perfect, which is something I need to work on myself, because I'll always try and get it as perfect as I possibly can, which ultimately fails because perfection doesn't exist. But yeah, I need to leave this to dry properly so that I don't end up sticking sandpaper to it or anything like that. But yeah, so it's almost like a little door wedge. But yeah, so I'll be using this to get into here, these sort of places. I can switch out different grades of sandpaper. It is mainly for these sort of things and getting into the rings and the edges here. I think that will ultimately, in the long term, help me get this sort of thing, when it comes to designs like this, done much better, much more succinctly done. And I have something similar to that as well for when it's upstairs at the moment, but it's an old bit of cherry that ended up snapping you know, we're just going to use it for a stem, but I actually, you know, use that because it's, you know, near enough circularly perfect. What I use that for when it comes to the type of ones that that's why it's just seemed a little too big. But yeah, I've got one, something like it, a circular bit of cherry that that when it's got like an arch in the wand, I can use that to properly, so I can wrap the sandpaper around that, and you know, get a better quality of sanding on the actual piece. Like, so for example, this has got a little arch in it, this particular wand. So I'll wrap the sandpaper around the bit of cherry, and I'll just go up and down, so that way it's not, it just helps me a bit. But yeah, so finished making this, and now I'm going to be getting onto the wand I wanted to do. But I figured that if I could get at least all the old ones I hadn't sanded, then I'll work on this particular wand right after I'd finished sanding that. I thought that would have been a good idea, but in the end, you know, not troubles, but you know, problems that I hadn't solved came up, and that led me to solve them, but you know, not fully. Not fully completed. But yes, now, as you're seeing me do, I am getting onto just marking out the centre points for the wand I'm making, so that I can turn it nice on the lathe. I'll try and get like a time lapse of me making the wand. I think I've made, I think I've made a time lapse of this particular wand in the past. But you know, it's been a while since I've posted on here, and I thought I may as well just, you know, do it again. Reinvigorate especially now that I've changed it to Eric's Studios instead of Eric's Workshop, which, you know, I kind of like Eric's Studio a bit better than Workshop because it's less of a mouthful and a bit more open to doing whatever, because I would like to introduce more than just wands to the way, like, you know, I got into woodworking first by making swords, then wands, and now I'm introducing sculptures that I'm doing. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I've changed it from Eric's Workshop to Eric's Studio. But yeah, there's a little update of what I've done today.